happy shiny puppies. This is Melody Fletcher, and I've got some great news for you. During the month of May, my book, Deliberate Receiving, Finally the Universe Makes Some Freaking Sense, is on sale for Kindle for $2.99 on Amazon. So if you don't have your book yet, or you don't have the Kindle version yet, now is a really great time to go get it for $2.99, $3 minus a penny on Amazon. I don't know if it's worldwide or just Amazon.com, so go check it out, but that is for the calendar month of May. Okay, so today is day 15 of the 30-day video challenge. Yeah, you know what? It's the date. I just realized that. It's the date because I started on the 1st, so the 15th. All right, coolio. And today I want to address a question that was asked in the comments on my blog on the recent post that I did about why I curse, which was really about, you know, being yourself and using language the way that I want to, and giving people permission to just be completely themselves. And in that video, I said that I hadn't really addressed this issue of cursing before, because even though I'd received some, you know, helpful emails or complaints, I never really felt the need to defend myself. And so in the comments, I hope I'm not butchering this name, Sean, S-H-A-N, asked, you know, what about if you do feel the need to defend yourself and you do get defensive, you know? And so I thought I would talk about that today under the guise of something that's been really in the news lately, which is mansplaining. Because people tend to get very defensive around the issue of mansplaining. Both the people who've been accused of it and the people who are doing the accusing. And so what is mansplaining, for those of you who might be international, who are thinking, what? It's a term that has been coined to describe when men generally are explaining something to women in a condescending way, like they don't really know what they're doing, or like they're not intelligent enough. And these are all beliefs that are being triggered here. But essentially, mansplaining is splaining is the idea behind someone in a seemingly more powerful position, being condescending to somebody in a seemingly less powerful position. So make no mistake about it, there is woman-splaining, there is boss-splaining, there's white-splaining, there's rich-splaining, there's a lot of splaining. Yeah, whenever you have any kind of issue of powerlessness going on and any perceived power imbalance, there's gonna be splaining. So, which means that, you know, when someone is splaining to you, you are going to probably get defensive because it is a manifestation. So, you know, when you come to me with questions like this, you're never going to hear me say, well, it's just the fault of this group, it's the fault of that group, and we need to go out and we need to teach them how to not treat us this way, because I bring everything back down to the responsibility for the vibration. And I'm really sorry to say this. I know it sucks donkey balls sometimes, especially when you first start learning how this process works, but you are the only one who is responsible for your vibration, for your experience, and for your reality. And that is not to say that it is your fault what is going on. There's no blame here, yeah? We have to take the blame out of it. Responsibility and blame are not the same thing. It just means that no one else can change it but you. No one can change your reality because it is a reflection of your vibration. And so it's like you're arguing with the mirror. And you can do that for years and eons and just keep arguing and arguing and arguing. It's not going to change anything. In fact, it's probably just going to get worse. And so it's time to stop arguing with the mirror and to start taking responsibility for our vibration, which means that if somebody is saying something to you that makes you defensive, it's time for you to stop, take a look at yourself. Whether or not you've had the defensive reaction to their face, or you noticed that it was coming up and you walked away, it doesn't really matter. The work you should be doing should be done by yourself generally, or with a trained practitioner such as myself or another coach, somebody who can hold the energy for you and kind of guide you through it. But it should not be done with this person unless you have a very evolved relationship with this person. So generally, no, because if that's the case, you're probably not asking me this question. And so here's what's going on, first of all. When somebody is doing some splaining, they are generally, from their point of view, like truly generally, like almost always, they are genuinely trying to help. No matter how condescending it is. And let me explain this to you in these terms. You've heard me say this on my blog and my videos a lot, which is that, you know, light workers and helpers have to be very careful not to hoist their help onto people who haven't asked for it, to give unsolicited advice, unsolicited help. No matter how much you want to do it, it will never, ever, ever be received well, because it comes across as incredibly arrogant and condescending. And so what is happening is that we assume that we know exactly what's going on. We assume we know where this person is coming from vibrationally, where they're going vibrationally, and how to get there. So we're trying to play, you know, the game as their higher being, and that is not our role at all. We can be inspired by our own higher being to help them in some way if they're ready to manifest that, but if they're not ready to manifest it, then we can't get in there and meddle. And when we try, it comes across as incredibly condescending, and it never, ever, ever, ever is received well. So let's stop it. This is what it feels like to be on the other side of that. That person is actually genuinely trying to help in some way from their perspective, which is often vastly different than ours. And we have manifested this experience, but that's what they're doing. So if you've been accused of splaining in some way, of not understanding the other side, it is because you have tried to get in there to help, but it's not been solicited. You don't have permission, nor do you generally understand what's really going on. You've sort of made a lot of assumptions there. So just take a step back and maybe just start asking some questions, and ask even if you can help in some way. And if the answer is no, then leave it. But if you have been splained to, or somebody has caused you to become defensive, yeah, then that part is your manifestation. That experience is your manifestation. And what is going on there? Well, when you get defensive, it means that you are feeling insecure about your own position, about your own perspective. And so one of the things, the big concepts that's really helpful here to remember, is that we have this assumption that there's one perspective that is correct. And we're always fighting each other for the validity of that concept. No, I know what's right. No, I know what's right. No, you must be wrong. I must be right. Or if you're right, then I must be wrong. And this is at the heart of most arguments around the world. We would argue so much less if we just really understood this. If you understand that when somebody is presenting you their point of view, that they really are just presenting you their point of view. This is what I think, this is what I feel. Then you can allow them to have that point of view. You can allow them and their point of view to exist. And oftentimes when you feel like somebody is not hearing you, is not giving you the right to have your opinion, yeah, you are actually also not allowing them to have their right, to have the right for their opinion. And so a fight ensues. You're wanting to defend yourself. You're wanting to say, no, I'm right, you're wrong. And if you can back off of that, you're already going to be in a much, much better place. If you can see that they may only be trying to help you, it's a misguided attempt to help you, but they're coming from a good place instead of trying to shut you down because you're not worthy, you're not valid. That can be very helpful. You also want to sit with what feeling is actually really coming up within you. What are you feeling? What are you defending? Yeah? Do you feel that you don't have a right to your opinion? Are you afraid that maybe your opinion is the wrong one? Are you feeling like if they don't agree with you, then you're going to not have the opportunities that you want to have? Do you see how all of those are cases of powerlessness? That you're giving them the authority and you have to change them before you can get that power? Yeah? So the idea is for you to do whatever it takes to step back into your power. This is work that you do on yourself. It's got nothing to do with them. And as you step into your power, then that's what's going to get reflected back to you, mirrored back to you. So, you know, generally when I get emails from people who are sort of helpfully, you know, trying to tell me that I'm wrong, I've got it wrong, most of the time I don't even respond to them because I don't really feel intuitively like they're wanting to have a discussion with me. They're not wanting to open up their perspective in any way. But sometimes I do, and then, you know, we have a beautiful discussion, or sometimes I'm just inspired to respond to them and I don't hear anything back, and I may have triggered them or not. It's not really up to me. That's none of my business. I just kind of do what I'm led to do. But if I get an email from somebody who says, you know, you got this wrong, and I feel myself getting defensive, like I really want to reach out to them and say, no, 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 that's not how I meant that. That is not how I meant that. You got that wrong. I wasn't saying that. You just completely missed the point of what I was trying to say. If that comes up within me, then I sit myself down and I figure out what's going on with me. It really has nothing to do with them. They were just an angel who helpfully came into my reality and poked me where I needed to be poked. Yeah? And so I take a look at that, and you know what? Oftentimes what it is, it can have different causes. Some of them I've already said here. But oftentimes what needs to be done is that I am not entirely solid in my perspective. I haven't yet completely found the perspective that feels really, really, really good to me. So there's something about my own perspective that doesn't quite feel spot on yet, and this person poking at me allows me to fine tune that. And then when I find the perspective that I really, really, really resonate with, the defensiveness just goes away. So I've given you hopefully a few things to think about here. Yeah, so why not share in the comments today? This is going to be kind of a bigger one, and I'm kind of asking for it here. But, you know, let's do this because this is about the real world and how to live with this stuff. What makes you defensive? What makes you defensive? And I've got a couple more videos coming up that I know, because I'm kind of creating a little bit of a plan, but that I know where I'm going to be talking about things just like this, where I noticed that I got defensive about something, which meant that there was more work for me to do, and I'll talk you through that. And you know, some of those issues are kind of big, so these are real world issues. But right now I want to hear from you. What makes you defensive? And then if it's something that I feel will benefit all, I might address one of your issues in an upcoming video. Okay? Until tomorrow. Just at this point of the video, I always feel just so much love for you guys. I just want to smush and hug all of you. Anyway, thank you for bringing your light to the world. I love you guys so much. Smush, smush. Okay.